Welcome back. You're still tuned into Trading Hour, and the FMCG pack is really in focus today for multiple reasons. A, you have Jubilant Food, which is under pressure after the second quarter earnings. Then you also have Colgate and Asian Paints, which are due to report their numbers today. So to discuss all of this, we have with us Abneesh Roy of Nuvama Institutional Equities to take some questions. Abneesh, thanks for being with us on this show. Let's just start things with Jubilant Food. I mean, numbers are weak, but weak as expected, right? So the question is, how much more from here do you see in terms of, where the earnings could go? Do you think we've already seen the worst with this kind of revenue growth decline, with the kind of margin compression, or do you think that things could get worse from these kinds of levels as well?
Yeah, thanks. So yesterday we had Jubilant Food results. The results were mostly in line with the broader expectation and our expectation, but it was weak. So broadly, it was a mirror image of Q1. So the revenue growth was around 4%, and like for like, it was a negative -1. And EBITDA dipped 10% YOY in Q2. So almost mirror image of what happened in Q1. My sense is worse seems behind from a earnings and like for like kind of a disappointment. The issue is stock had run up. So that's why the stock is correcting, and there will be some cuts based on the Q2 results remaining weak. So we have also cut our EBITDA by 5%, and we have downgraded the stock yesterday from buy to hold because at our target price of around 541, we had very limited upside. So the stock had run up because of the expectation that World Cup will lead to benefit in Q3. My sense is it will lead to some benefit. Also, please note, the slowdown for QSR had started last year in December quarter. So we are entering a softer base, but the issue for Domino's and a lot of the other QSR is essentially two. We have seen hyper expansion by every QSR player. For example, Domino's is adding close to 200 stores this year and 50 net stores added in Q2. So hyper expansion between the QSRs, and a lot of the unlisted and local players in pizza are also ramping up. So we had released a note on La Pino's doing really well in a lot of the areas. And they are also advertising, such players are advertising in the mass media. So that is the issue. On the positive side, gross margins and EBITDA margins have bottomed out. So we saw some expansion. Going ahead, dairy cost will correct. So that should benefit Domino's from a cheese cost perspective. So net lack of operating leverage is the issue. But the worst is behind on margins and worst is behind on like for like. But we don't expect a very strong uptick from a next few quarters. Q3 should be better because of the World Cup and softer base.
Okay, got that. So we'll watch out for that. Since we are a little short on time, Abneesh, let me ask you, the next question. In terms of volumes overall, just if you go by volume growth, HUL was a real disappointment, 2%. I mean, for the rest of the season, which FMCG or consumer company could perhaps surprise pleasantly on the upside on volumes? We have Asian Paints today. We have Colgate as well coming up. What's your expectation? Volume growth, not just in Q2, and then looking forward, who will be the volume stars in the second half, if at all?
Yes, so Nestle will be one of the stars. Nestle is seeing almost 27% CAGR in rural volume, while most other companies are seeing challenging time. Tata Consumer also should do reasonably well on a console basis. International is doing well for them. These two companies stand out. Varun Beverage also quite decent. In September quarter, both Varun and Coke, they saw double-digit sales growth. So these three stand out. Rest of the company today, Asian Paint and Colgate, we expect 2 to 4% kind of volume growth, but EBITDA growth should be double-digit. So it remains more of a margin expansion rather than volume growth. But Q3 should be better for all staples companies because festival season full benefit will be there. And September quarter rainfall had a big impact in August, which we think will correct. And a lot of stimulus programs are happening. So overall, worst seems behind for staples from a Q2 versus Q3 perspective. But Nestle, Tata Consumer, Godrej Consumer, Colgate, those will be our top picks in the staples.
Okay, got that. And Varun Beverages, you said, could also do well on volume. So we'll watch out for that. Thank you very much. Shorter chat today, Abneesh, but really appreciate your perspective. Thank you so much for joining in. Well, with that, we have to take another very quick break. We'll come back on the other side and get you the latest on the markets. Still a down move. Back with more trends in just a bit.